No, Kevin and Scott and Hunter were in Germany with us. Sean was back here, and you know, pretty uneventful tour. Everything went well, and we come back. Sean and I had already been told that we had to be in Regina, Manitoba, the week of, like that Tuesday before the In Your House, because it would be me, him, and Vince. Vince wanted to go over and create a finish for this, and that's what he told us, that there was going to be a repeat of the Rude Ultimate Warrior angle. And while we're in Germany, we get the report that Sean's been attacked by, beaten up by, like, I forget.
40.
Yeah, it was like
40 U.S. Army soldiers.
Yeah, something like ridiculous.
3 angry Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
That's what it ended up being, but go ahead.
Through that lens, right? And so when I got back, Davey Boy called me. And I was home for maybe a day or two. And Davey Boy called. I can't remember if he called before J.J. Dillon. At any rate, Davey Boy calls and he said, I just want to let you know, Sean's been talking shit on you while you were in Germany. I said, what's he been saying? He said, he's been telling everybody he's going to embarrass you on the pay-per-view. And I laughed. I said, I'd love to see him try. I'll stretch his ass on the pay-per-view. And
at this point, did you have any problems with Sean at all?
No.
So this is out of the blue.
Other than the money being the shits and, the couple little things you can see, but it was nothing at that point yet targeted directly at me that I saw or heard.
Right.
And so I tell Davey that, and the very next day, I think it was the next day, the JJ called and said, you're not needed in Regina on Tuesday now. Did Davey get me knocked out of that spot? Did he stooge it? And they said, no, it's nothing like that. He said, Sean's not going to be able to wrestle because he's had a relapse of his concussion. Well, again, I was accepted to medical school. I know you don't relapse a concussion unless you get hit in the head again. I said, well, how the hell did he get hit in the head again? So, well, he didn't get hit in the head again. He just had a relapse. And I went, okay, now this is all starting to line up.
The old concussion relapse.
He forgot to mention that his physicians were Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard, but that's a whole other story.
So the night before the In Your House,
God.
I flew in last with Jim Cornette. We were on the very last flight into Regina. I get to the hotel. I'm rooming with Dustin, and I get into the room. There's a note on my bed. Everybody's down in the bar. So I put my stuff away, went down to the bar, and as I walk in, the bar is packed with fans. I see over the top of the crowd somebody going like this. So I look, and it's Scott Hall waving me over.
Right.
I'm like, that's okay. Because one thing about Scott was when he was drinking, like, boy,
Hey,
loose
Shane.
lips would sing Evan shit, right? So I went over and he's holding the seat for me, and he says, hey, Shane, Sean can't wrestle tomorrow. And he's going through the whole thing, and he said, I just want to say congratulations. I said, for what? He said, well, you didn't hear it from me, but you're getting the belt tomorrow. And where I come from in the business, the way I was taught, why this guy knows anything outside of me, Vince, and Sean don't work. It doesn't work in my world. But I knew that he's, there's something going on here now. So now I'm keeping my eyes and ears open.
Are they the Click right now? Are they known as the Click already?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if the name had stuck
But
at that time.
it's forming.
It's forming, and they were, at least there were certain people in the dressing room. Not everybody was calling them the Click.
They're not hugging at the Garden yet, ruining everything. Go on. Oh.
So the next day I pull into the parking lot to go in, and Sean pulls in right next to me. Now, remember, we'd heard just not like a week or so ago, he's been brutally attacked by this platoon of soldiers. And he gets out of the car and he looks, there's not a scratch on him. He looks perfectly normal.
His toenails are flossed.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got sparkly
little
teeth.
sparkle off his tooth when he smiled. So we walk in and
He's in a bathrobe.
And
Hey, Shane,
the
wanna go
dressing
tan?
room, the locker room was this way, and the makeup room was this way. So we walk in, and I said something to him, walking in. I said, tough night in Rochester. So yeah. And he walks into the makeup room.
That was great.
He walks into the makeup room, and I go into the dressing room, and I drop my stuff, and I'm going to get something to eat. And we almost like on cue. He's come out of the makeup room. Now he's got a contact lens in, and bruised up.
Oh, get
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I said, boy, those makeup girls must be tough, huh? Yeah. Snaps his gun again,
Oh, yeah.
So I'm down
greatest
in
imitation
catering,
ever.
and I get somebody, I forget who it was, Blackjack or somebody came and said, Vince wants to talk to you. So I go and find Vince, and what was odd was when I walked in, I had never seen this before, but I walk in and the dressing room is all dark. He's got the whatever the Regina.
Is there like one light bulb swinging in
Yeah,
the middle?
there was one say like, have you ever been in your gymnasium after the school's closed?
Yeah.
There's like one light in the locker room that's on.
You've been summoned.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
walk in and his desk is right in the middle of the thing under this. And he sits down and tells me to sit down. We sit down and start talking. He starts explaining to me why Sean can't wrestle and, but he really loves this and he really loves that. And he's going on and on. He goes, so at that point, Sean's going to come out and he's going to forfeit the title to you. And I went, oh, please don't do that. He goes, why not?
Makes you
like, real seriously, why not?
weak.
He said, I've heard every wrestling champion since I was a kid say, you'd have to pry this belt from my cold, dead fingers. I'll spill your blood. I'll rip your head off to take this belt off me. And let's get a little bump on the head, then I'll just hand it to you.
Right.
I said, I'm sure he can do a super kick. Have him super kick me and beat me, but don't do that. He goes, no, we're committed to that. And this talk is going on for like 45 minutes. He and I sitting across the desk,
Going back and
desk
forth.
talking back and forth. And he says, yeah, and he's going to, you come out there, you do one of those promos you're so famous for, and he'll come out and you take that belt off of him. And he said, and at that point, I'm looking at him, I'm like, what's going on with his hand? So
What's he pointing towards?
so I start to slowly follow his hand, and I look over, and Scott Hall's sitting over in a goddamn locker,
Hey, yo.
listening to the whole conversation.
What the hell?
Like,
He had him hidden in the dark in the corner?
Yeah, like, where's
Who
Rod?
hit the light where all of a sudden he appeared?
Yeah, well,
What
I
is
was
going
I was
on
waiting
here?
for Rod Serling or Alan Funk to
That's
come
what I'm
out
saying.
because
It's that
we're in
guy
like
we have to
Bizarro
try
world
to-
shit now.
Oh, my God.
So,
So what'd you do then at that point?
Well,
Now he's sitting there going like this. Vince has got his glasses down like
yeah.
this. What are you doing?
Tells me you can come up with a finish. So my finish was I slide my foot under the bottom rope, which would break the count. The referee doesn't see it. He goes, I love that. I love it. Now you go back and watch that footage and see the announcers also don't notice it. It's like it never happened. But it was a very strange place to work.
Sounds it.
Not satisfying at all.
No.
Which must be disappointing because
Yeah.
it's like, this is where Dominic and Bruno came from.
Yes.
Vince is supposedly this great genius, which he is. I don't think we can say that, right? But it's got to be disappointing to someone whose career is a professional wrestler. That's the New York Yankees, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You spend your entire career endeavoring to get there. And then you get there and realize, shit, I'd rather be back digging ditches.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
This place